Hey all, 118 Seth Shadow here. With ASEN done, I thank anyone who is watching who was able to attend my panel back on Saturday. I know I didn't advertise it quite a lot. I was kind of nervous as it was my first time doing so, and I apologize for that. But for those who did show, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your time. I may look to do more panels like that in the future for cons, but we'll see where it goes. In any case, so for today, we'll be looking at singles, and we're going to be taking a look at foils for a number of singles in addition to some others as well. So, for our first one today, it's going to be the Fallen Angel spell, Winged Inversion. Normally you see this card in Abyss with a Fallen Angel type of variant utilizing the Fallen Angel engine. Now this card has a silver rare that comes from set 3 as well as a promo version of it that's foiled that comes out of promo pack, I believe it's 5. At this point, it's still easy to pick up if you want the regular silver, as while the Angel deck seems pretty fun. I've never actually gotten to try it, but I do want to try it out at some point. Although, it's not played too heavily, so when it comes to the promo card, this one is $3 right now with a market price of $4.15. And in terms of sales, this one has only been selling a bit here and there, and when it comes to what's available, there are a number of copies available for $3. Eventually, it'll make its way to $4 when it comes to quantities. Lucifer. As we talk about Fallen Angels, we can't forget this guy from set 1, who also has a Showdown promo, which still has not seemed to arrive on TCG Player yet. That version is basically the Super Legendary, but with a stamp on it as well. And speaking of which, that Super Legendary of the base form is currently $8 with a market price of $10.30. And when it comes to the regular one, it's just $2.83 right now. There's been no rebound on Lucifer, as it's mainly just a tech card if you want to play it these days. So, not too difficult to pick up at all. And when it comes to the Evo, it's very cheap. $1.93 is the base price on the Super Legendary, and then when you want the base Evo, it's 74 cents right now. We've also got Harbinger of the Night, which is also part of the Fallen Angel archetype. This card is also from set 3 and has an Evo as well. When it comes to its foils, which is what I really want to go over, because the regular bronze is really cheap to pick up. Again, 20 cents or under. And when it comes to the foils, it's just over $2 if you want to pick up the base form. And when it comes to the Evo, that one has a base price of $2, but it has a market price of $2.83 right now, which follows right when you consider that Evos are usually printed a little less in comparison to the base forms. Soul Conversion has dropped off some more in price, especially when you consider the promo version. This has been ranging from $5 to $15 for its base price this whole time, although we haven't seen as many sell beyond $10. The market price now for the promo is $4.91 with a base price of $3. And when it comes to the regular silver that came from set 1, it's currently a market price of $1.66 with $1.20 as the base. And if we look at the spread, it ends up consolidating at $5 for the promo right now, whereas there are a good amount of copies right now in the lowest listings available for $1.20, so that is still not bad. Ether of the White Wings, which is one of our new Haven supports for set 4. This is typically used in Aegis these days. The card itself has dropped off in price. The market price is currently $5.23 with a base price of $3.95 right now. If you want the Super Legendary, that's a market price of $12.57, and $9.68 is the current base price. This card also has an Ultimate Rare in this set, which is currently a base price of $99 and a market price of $93.51 at this point. But there are a good amount of listings for this card on the market, and being a legendary, it doesn't really see that much play, given that Aegis itself has just not been seeing as much play either. Crystalia Tia has calmed down from hype prices to the point where when you look at its base form, the base prices on them are now more aligned than they were before. And the market prices are also pretty aligned at just over $15 for each. But if you want the base price on the base form right now, when we look at a spread of it, let's see. Oh, so the Super Legendary is actually a lightly played version, and then it goes up to $25. But then when it comes to the regular Legendary, we have a number of copies available at $15. So ultimately, it is pretty stable at $15 then. And if we actually look at sales on the Super Legendary, not selling. The last sale was at the end of April on the 21st, and they've been selling for $18, but any higher than that, it's not really moving. Prior to that, we never had a sale that exceeded $20 yet, so it's not moving that much. Vash, and it's the Nelka, which is a new support card from set 4. Foil version for this card, it sees play in Elephant quite a bit. It's 12 listings right now with 278 as the base listing. It's been going up in market price, which is now $356. And again, it's the foil version, and it's selling for $3 to $4 at this point. Excuse me. And that's where most of the listings are available. But when it comes to each of these listings, very few of them have more than one copy available, so it ends up becoming a matter of adding the shipping cost to that too. Harvest Festival is still right around where it was at before, with a slight uptick when it comes to the box topper promo from set 1. That now has a base price of $1 with a market price of $1.31. And then when it comes to the original silver, it's a 40-cent market price. And there are still a good amount of copies that are just under 50 cents to pick up. And when it comes to the promos quantities, we have dollar listings and a decent amount of them for the first 3 listings available. Princess Snow White, which is still one of the more popular cards for Haven Eggburn right now, we're still above $10 when it comes to the regular one. And it's $12 base price with a market price of about $14.85. There's only one copy left on the Super Legendary at $35 with a market price of $13.53. As for what that has been selling for, it's been sparsely selling, but we did see 2 sales from the end of April to the beginning of May that sold for $32 and $35. Martyr's Tea Time, which is also part of the Haven deck. The foil version of this has dropped off in its market price, not by too much, it's still by change. $4.91 is the market price right now, and it does sell for $5 every so often. There's no major consolidation of this card, and all the listings are around $5 or higher, so shipping will end up getting added in most cases, but the card itself just does not have too many it has no consolidation, so no major risk of a buyout there, I'd say, at this point. 19 listings overall too. Another one that comes out of the deck, the foil of Alice's Adventure. We've got $3.20 on this one for the base price and a market price of $3.06, which has been progressively decreasing from just under $4, just under $4.60 actually. It has been selling a bit more readily, but not more recently. $2 to $3 for recent sales, and we have a number of copies across listings that are available for $2 to $3 right now before they just continue to go up from there. But ultimately, it's not selling too hot even for its foil. Alexander from set 2 is a Swordcraft tech. I don't think I've ever seen this played as more than one copy in decks nowadays, especially since Sword focuses more on aggro. Alexander's better for the control aspect and handling for mid range, but the regular legendary now has a base price of $3 with a market price of $5.76. However, that $3 listing, it has been selling a bit. It has been selling between $3.50 and $4, but in terms of what's available, we have $3.77 for most of the listings on the bottom. So it's more of a $4 card at this point, while the market price has been dropping off. This card used to be almost $10 for its market price, and it used to sell above that when it first came out. Merlin, just a checkpoint here on where this card has been sitting. When it comes to the base form, between the Super Legendary and the regular version, we have a lot of quantities on the market for both, over 20 listings of each. And when it comes to prices, there hasn't been much change on the regular Legendary, where it's still just over $15 and the market price is $14.94. And if you want the Super Legendary, it's $31 right now with a market price of $34.21. I mentioned before how the Evo was moving up in value, which it still is. It's now $8.84 base price and a market price of $8.60, so it is moving up there, while its Super Legendary is back to $15, just over $15 for its base listing and a market price of $13.15. There's also Star Reader Stella, which the foil copy of this card is currently with 9 listings and $4.19. And when it comes to sales, it's been selling between $4 and $5 for the most part, with a market price of $3.94. No consolidation on this one's foil either. It's mostly just individual listings with 1 or 2 copies, one or two exceptions. But this is a tech to play for the Chimera base build as well, for being able to mill out as well as fetch you some new cards. Golem Protection, which is used for Dirt Rune, Earthright Rune. This still only has its 1 copy, a silver from set 1, which is still easy to pick up, and 29 listings. Overall, just 25 cents, and market price wise, it's been on the decline. It used to be in the 30-cent range. Right now, most copies are available for 50 cents, and then into 75 cents after that. But we do have a fair amount of 25-cent listings as well. We've also got Blaze Breath, which is still used pretty readily in Dragoncraft. So looking at the foil version of this card, it's currently $5, where the market price has been increasing from just under $4, and it's been selling sparsely but somewhat consistently at $5, and that's where all the listings kind of hold when you consider shipping as well. Then we've also got Agnes Tachyon, where I do want to point out, particularly for all of its copies, you can see that while the price is not really moving around too much, like the base form is currently $40 with a market price of $44. It actually has 34 listings on the market now, so it's... Let me see here. I actually want to see. It's still selling for $40, but it's not selling so readily like before. And with so many quantities on the market, overall, Agnes Tachyon still ends up seeing play as we progress through formats, but it can end up more of a tech in comparison to other items that may come later. And with 34 listings, there is a chance that we could see a price drop coming, though I can't say how much it would be, especially since this set's not going to get reprinted. Then you've also got the Evo version, which, if you look at the base rarity legendary of that also has 32 listings available. So Agnes is just getting back up on the market here. And when it comes to the super legendaries, those are still lower in quantity, but ultimately 4 listings on the base form, 7 listings on the super legendary there. And our final card for today is going to be Mara Zensky, which in comparison to Agnes Tachyon, we have less listings available across all of its different variants, with Abyss getting a lot of attention for Necrocharge these days. Competitive purpose or just fun play, because I honestly think that this deck is really fun to play too. Right now, when we look at prices, though, the base form goes from a market price of about $16.89, and then you actually look at the Super Legendaries market price, which is lower right now, $13.67, but it has a base price that's much higher at $26.85, and that makes sense. It is the Super Legendary, but the base price of the regular Legendary is $16.80. As for the evolved version, we have 12 listings left on the regular one, starting at $2, which is basically double what it was before. And then the Super Legendary is currently at 8 listings with a base price of $4.50. Again, I just chalk it up to the popularity of Abyss these days, as it is fun to play Necrocharge. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.